Hi everyone, my name is Sarah and welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be bringing you a quick review of Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. So I read this book in 2020 and I recently put out my book diary for this book since I'm doing BookTube Veda. And I thought that I should do a quick spoiler-free review just so anyone who might be interested in this book has a spoiler-free version to read, although this particular book diary does not have many spoilers at all. So the general premise of this book is that there is the president's son, Alex, who is sort of enemies-ish with the Prince of England, Henry. They both have run in similar circles, having both grown up in the sort of political sphere of the world, and Alex doesn't really particularly like Henry. He thinks Henry is arrogant and all these different things. And it sort of culminates in a disaster that happens where they sort of get into some sort of a tiff, if you will, and basically they end up sort of causing a scandal of some sort, which causes both the royal family of England and the president's family in the United States to come up with a plan to sort of ease the tensions and also make sure that it makes everybody look good, sort of thing. So the plan is basically have Henry and Alex hang out at public functions so they can be like, no, we're great friends. We've always been great friends. We know everything about each other. We're best friends. I've just never talked about this guy before in my life, kind of thing. And it's through this sort of forced fake friendship that they end up developing an actual like real friendship and end up sort of developing more romantic feelings towards each other. That's sort of the general kind of summary of the book. So I actually really ended up enjoying this book. I was really hesitant going into it because I'd heard a lot of mixed reviews on it, and I thought that the two characters, Alex and Henry, were really fun. I really felt like they were their own characters and were really entertaining to read about, like, together in their interactions, especially before they became like a couple or fell in love. Their just friendship was really fun to read, and I really enjoyed that. I also thought their romance was incredibly sweet, and if you know me, you know I love a good sweet romance, so I really liked that aspect of it. I thought the writing was pretty good. It's a very easy read in the sense of it reads very quickly, it reads very easily. I also ended up really enjoying the sort of mixed media aspect of it, where throughout the book there are like text messages and emails that are exchanged back and forth between Henry and Alex. And I think that worked really, really well, especially considering the book is basically told from Alex's point of view and Alex's point of view only. So those emails and text messages were kind of our only real insight into Henry's point of view. And I think it worked really, really well. Let me show you like an example here, where it's kind of like this, where it's like this is an email from Henry to Alex, and like they're kind of scattered throughout the book, and I thought that was a really good way to incorporate Henry's point of view without having to necessarily swap points of view. So that was really nice. So basically, without giving anything, like without any spoilers or anything, obviously it is a romance, so they do fall in love throughout the book, and I think it was a very fun ride. It was a very enjoyable story. It was a very sweet romance. I enjoyed kind of watching and reading them falling in love. I also just felt like it was a very fun, enjoyable read. I enjoyed myself immensely reading this book. The only things that kind of niggle at me, I guess, as a potential criticism is that it is a rather long romance. It clocks out at like 420 pages or so. That is rather long for a romance, especially one that doesn't really have like a massive like extra plot included. Like the main plot is them falling in love, you know, and then obviously dealing with the real world like kind of responsibilities that they have. I think it could have been a little bit shorter. That's really my biggest kind of criticism is like a very strong word for that, but criticism I guess would be that. But I absolutely loved the characters. The characters get 5 stars. All of them were very, very great. I loved the bisexual representation that we got with Alex, who literally says the word bisexual in the book, which is so exciting as a bisexual person. Like, sometimes the words just aren't used, and it's always fun and always great when you have one that is stated outright. Also, the sort of idea of him trying to come to terms with his bisexuality while trying to be like, am I? is this really a thing? Like, what's going on here? It was just incredibly relatable. Yeah, so the characters, 5 stars. The romance also gets 5 stars. It is a slight enemies to lovers story. However, they include the step that is always missing for me, which is they become friends too. And so you go from kind of enemies to friends, so you know that they like each other and actually enjoy each other's company, and then they go to love, you know? And that was fabulous. Loved that, because I feel like a lot of enemies to lovers kind of miss that middle step for me, and so it falls flat. Romance was also 5 stars. The writing, I would say, I think I would give the writing like 3.5 to 4 stars. I do think it's a little long, and I think it drags a little bit, but if you're really invested in the characters and or the romance, I don't think you're going to notice it I don't think it's really that noticeable. Overall, I rated this book 4 stars, and I really did enjoy it. I would recommend picking this book up if you're looking for just a fun sort of rom-com that's low stakes. You know, even though they are the son of the United States president and this, you know, Prince of England, relatively low stakes romance in the sense of what they're going through is like their relationship is sort of low stakes. It's not like full of a ton of angst. It's not full of a lot of heartache and heartbreak. It's very grounded in reality and grounded in the relationship that they're building, which I really, really liked. That's my quick rapid fire review for this book. I hope that this might help somebody who might be thinking of picking this book up. So let me know in the comments below if you've read this book or if you're thinking of picking this book up, if you have any recommendations of books that are similar to Red, White, and Royal Blue, or any other recommendations of romances in general. I love a good romance, so I'm always willing to hear some recommendations. But as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.